Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Shout out over there to my good friend, Sullivan Alexander. He has a great company, Contour Advisors, and he's a contributor on The Price of Business. And he wrote a great article about Kevin Harney with Stelco Construction. You can learn more about that and the great article on what's going on in the construction industry at priceofbusiness.com. Check that out there today. Also, speaking of great contributors, one of my favorites is on, and I don't say that to everyone, by the way, and that's Christine Crandell. She does a phenomenal job with her company. She's an innovator. I think she's a thought leader when it comes to customer relations, and she always brings the coolest guests on the program, and I bet today is no exception. Before you introduce your guest, Christine, tell us about your great company.
Hi, Kevin. It was always so good to talk with you. Well, New Business Strategies is a consulting firm that helps businesses grow their revenues by over 20% without adding any additional investments. So how do we do that? We actually show companies how to deliver experiences their customers will pay a premium for. So we are in the business of wow customer experience.
I love it. I love that. I love hearing you describe it. That's almost as good as the service itself. You do an awesome job, and you always bring on great guests, and I've been looking forward to your guest today. Well, go right ahead. Introduce him.
You know, the guest today is someone who is truly, truly an amazing, amazing person. His name is Jeff Velde. He is the Senior Vice President of Client Experience and Loyalty at SunTrust Bank. You know, and we don't always think about banks in the same sentence as customer experience, right?
Right.
But SunTrust is one of the country's leading banks in the Southeast, serving retail business and institutional clients. And I love their purpose statement. And it is, they're committed to lighting the way to financial well-being for their clients. And so Jeff is responsible for, like I said, customer experience and loyalty. And he's gotten SunTrust rated as number one in customer loyalty across many lines of business, in addition to number one in customer advocacy in 2011 and number one in brand reputation in financial services in 2010. So I thought, you know, he's going to give us some pearls of wisdom on how to do this right.
Hey, I love it. Welcome to the program, Jeff. I hope our interview is as good as that introduction.
Yeah, let's hope. Thanks for having me on.
So tell us about that. So those are some great accolades that she laid out there. What would you say is centerpiece of your strategy towards achieving those goals?
It's going to sound really simple, Kevin, but it was really the philosophy we were founded on. That is, put your customer first. And it's that simple. Understanding what's important to them and going about aligning your business to do that.
Let me ask you a question, Christine, because you're incredibly astute at observing these things. What do you see in the SunTrust makeup that makes them so successful in this objective?
Well, what I thought that was really interesting is that unlike everybody else who doesn't want to go talk to customers to really find out the experience that they want and why they want to buy from them or why they want to do business with them. What SunTrust did and what Jeff's team did is the exact opposite. They went into the homes of their customers to find out, well, what's it like dealing with the bank and what are the decisions? How do you decide which bills get paid and don't get paid? I mean, they went out and they talked to, I don't know how many thousands of customers, and it was from that information that they created the strategy and they created the experience. And so many companies don't do that. And frankly, it's the best and smartest way to go do it.
Yeah, very good. And I'm sure you have a question for our guest.
Yeah, you know, so I think one of the things, Jeff, is I want to kind of really get to the chase as to why you went that route. Lots of companies rely on this thing called Net Promoter Scores, and we've all seen it as like, you know, it's that little pop-up window that says, would you recommend, you know, this to your friend? But, you know, you didn't go that route. You went in to talk to your customers. So how did you get to that? How did you decide to do that? And then how did you get your customers to agree to let you in the front door?
Yeah, that's a great question. So our point of view was this, is that, yes, there are these models that other people use, and Net Promoter is one of those. And those, there's some benefit to those and its simplicity. If we were going to truly rise to the challenge that was being created by some of the post-2008 regulatory changes, we knew that we were going to do it by really understanding the post-2008 consumer and business, the challenges they had, and quite frankly, the challenges that we were creating for them. So we knew the only way to kind of get out of our own way with our own ideas is to do it through the insights we can gain by spending time with people. I mean, some of the stories some of what we observed when we were invited into their homes, I mean, we saw a son come home, an 18-year-old son come home, talk to his parents about opening his first checking account. And we thought, wow, that's a good positive story. And his first question was, Mom, I have an 88-page disclosure on the terms and conditions of my account, and they gave me a checkbook. How do I write a check? And we're like, wow, we didn't even think of that. Or we said, we're going to go out and visit these business clients. Can I come to your office? And clients are saying, well, then come to my truck, because if you want to see me, I'm never in my office. I'm always actually out of my sites. And so when you observe the environments to which they're dealing with and running their businesses or running their households, you get a so much better perspective on how we can better interact with them.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I want to mention real quick while we're talking that SunTrust, you can learn more about them at suntrust.com. Jeff, just a real practical question. How big is your footprint? Where can people find branches?
Yeah, so we're in most of the Southeast. Everything is north is Washington, far down is Florida, and we come far west as Atlanta. Our headquarters are Atlanta, Georgia.
Awesome. Go ahead there, Christine.
So, one of the things I think that's also interesting is, that, Jeff, how did you get your CEO to champion this change? I mean, you went through a real big transformation. So how did you get him to say, I got to go do this, and I see the value in doing it?
Well, I think there was a couple of perfect storm moments. So, like I said, we had kind of the turbulence of the regulators coming in and really asking us, are we doing what's right for the client? We had a CEO that is in long line of CEOs that this is their DNA. Putting the client first and understanding and caring about our clients is in their DNA. And so he was there. My job was really to show him the roadmap and said, if we're going to really do this, it starts with understanding what is important to the client and then really getting away from or reducing all the things that's not really important that we tend to do anyways. And so it was really about building him the roadmap. It wasn't really convincing him. The plan was about these are the things, as simple as it may be, that are important to our clients. These are the things that add value to their lives. Here's how we can make it easier and simpler for them to deal with us and help them with their financial well-being. That was really the third perfect storm, is that we reestablished a purpose that we were going to help people improve their financial well-being. And all we needed was to chart that course.
Let me ask you, why is it that banks seem to be somewhat providing push when it comes to these values? Because to me, they seem to be values that would be natural in a relationship-oriented business.
Yeah, I guess I can speak to it because I'm not a traditional banker. I'm actually a customer insight person, and maybe one of the reasons is that we bankers deal with numbers and money, and sometimes we can't see that behind every dollar that is invested with us is a person who has real life circumstances. So one of our keys is to bring that to the forefront. One of the things that we do, and our CEO does, is that he actually brings in the voice of the client to all his executive meetings. They'll spend time listening to phone calls and talking about visits they made on clients. That puts everything else they then talk about into perspective.
Yeah. Christine?
So, we all have gone to the bank or a bank, and we've met the teller who either didn't know anything or was having a really bad day. That kind of sticks in your mind. So what you're talking about is really changing how your employees look at their jobs. So give us a short snapshot of how did you do that? How did you change your employees? And did you have to, fire everybody and hire all new people? I mean,
I don't think it was firing. I said, I think what happened was when we understood what was important to the client, we actually then changed our incentive program to deliver it. And then in essence, if you wanted to, be rewarded an incentive on doing this, then this is the place for you. And if not, this isn't the place for you. And so we didn't really have to fire anybody. We had people kind of select out or select in. I mean, to be honest with you, when people heard our story and how much of our incentive program is based on the feedback from the client in program we call Service Excellence, I mean, part of their pay is based on the feedback they get. We talk to 1,000 clients a night, right? And that feedback goes directly into the teammate for us to coach their performance, to get back to the client to help them improve or to solve any problems they had, so that we can then, and like I said, we incent on that stuff. So in essence, and then the cool thing is we then hire for it. So once we found out that, I'll give you an example, for our relationship managers in business, Christine, our people that call on small businesses, we knew that one of the most important things to the small business is to help them, give them advice and ideas on how to grow their business. So when we screen for new relationship managers, one of the questions in our screen, in our interview process is, tell me a time where you've helped another business grow. And so it became part of our both screening on how we hire, but also how we then retain and incent those people and reward those people.
Mm-hmm. Great stuff. What a great interview. You know, it's one of these things we can talk about for hours, and we've already gone beyond our normal segment because, frankly, it was just too good not to. Christine Crandell, as always, fantastic content and information. You can learn more about her at newbizs.com. That's newbizs.com. And I tell you, I love what you bring, and I love reading your article over at Forbes. It's Forbes, correct? Absolutely, it's at Forbes. And in fact, I notice they feature it very often. I have one of those e-readers and read Forbes all the time. Love what you're doing over there. And Jeff, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate
all right.
it.
And with that, we wrap up today's show. Do want to remind you the best content here, it shows up over there at usdailyreview.com.